Buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz. Oh, my horn fucking hurts, dude. Holy shit, talk about a stinger. Hey, girl, you can just call me Barry. Barry B. Benson. So the Bee Movie is a 2007 animated comedy film produced by the DreamWorks Animation and Columbus 81 Productions. It was also distributed by the Paramount Pictures. Everyone wanted their hands on this film, all right? A mouthful. So of course it was released November 2nd, 2007. It grossed over $293 million on a budget of $150. So not bad at all. The development for this movie began in 2003 when a little old guy named Jerry Seinfeld approached Steven Spielberg asking if he could make a movie about insects. Then Spielberg approached DreamWorks CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg about how he wanted to make a movie about insects for Seinfeld. I guess it all worked out.
I was thinking about this idea and I said, what about a movie about bees called Bee Movie? And he got very excited. He said, that's a great idea. I love that title. And the next thing I knew, they had me doing it. I really didn't have an idea for the movie. All I had was the title. So
once they figured it out, they got together and they spent like a week in LA or something, just kind of figuring out what they're gonna do with the film. And Jerry specifically wanted it set in New York because, I quote, he said, New York is the Tigris and the Euphrates, is that how you say it, of comedy, unquote. There was also this thing where they were gonna make this movie originally live action. Spielberg even appeared in 2 live action trailers in a bee costume. It was gonna be live action. They made it animated.
thanks for doing this.
So you're gonna come to my wife's book signing, right?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there.
You know what E.T. was made out of?
What?
E.T. was made out of brown Play-Doh and chicken wire.
I did not know that, Stephen, and I'm thrilled for your success.
Thank you. All right, look. Why don't you just make it a cartoon?
All right.
Probably for the best. You know, I was younger. I was really obsessed with this movie. I do remember the Bee Movie cereal. Do you guys remember that? It came with like a magic spoon or something. I just remember cherishing that. You know, I try to make it last like 3 bowls of cereal. They did a lot of promotion for this film. Critics were kind of about the film. They gave it like a 50. The DVD had a bunch of extras that I will go towards the end of the film. And I'll introduce the cast as we kind of go throughout the review. So with that out of the way, let us begin. All right, open shot, the DreamWorks moon, but wait, this one's different. Barry B. Benson commits murder. He kills the moon, the kid. That's how you know it's gonna be a Seinfeld classic. According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway. Even when I try to escape him, he follows me here. Jim Cummings is the voice of the narrator, because why not put him in everything? He's the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Maybe they'll throw a Winnie the Pooh reference in here, I don't know. I know something about the voice of Pooh saying bees can't fly and making honey. It's just like kind of like a full circle moment, you know? So DreamWorks Animation presents Seinfeld.
Black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Ooh, black and yellow. Yeah, let's shake it up a little. Barry B. Benson. It's me. I'm Barry. It's just me. I don't like to venture too far from who I am. I'm Barry.
So this is one of those films where those animators got to really have fun. He sharpens his stinger ass with a pencil sharpener. Every book he has is a bee, the killer queen poster, a baddie. This is the type of world building I like to see. I think of it like as like a Toy Story kind of build up, how all like the small things use the big people things. And when I come to think of it, this pencil sharpener must be like pebble size.
Looking sharp.
Bee Movie. Whoa, Buzz. I love this little economy we have going on here. This reminds me of the DS game. Did any of you guys ever play the Bee Movie DS game? No one? Shit, just me? So in this little economy, even though the bees can fly, they can also drive. So a little bit of world building here. They have apparently 3 days of like school for middle, high school, and college, right? That's 3 days. And honestly, that's a lot for a little old bee, because like even Barry B. Benson said he had to take off a day in the middle. That's a lot of knowledge. On their way to graduation, we get some Seinfeld jokes.
I love this, incorporating the amusement park right into our regular day.
I guess that's why they say we don't need vacations.
You know Jerry wrote that one. So after a quick graduation, it's time to work, work, work. So in this economy, every time a bee graduates every 15 minutes or so, they're automatically hired at this place called Hunix Industries. Okay, it seems that the bees have evolved here, at least up into 2007, to where they work in factories now to make honey, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. So as they're given a little tour of the place for their jobs, once they're assigned this role, that's just the job that they have until they die. And you know what? Guess who is not a fan of that? Jerry Berry. I'm curious what their economy looks like in 2025 now. But also, how old is Barry? Like, I'd assume that this is common knowledge that they would just end up growing up to have that one job. Like, is that, they're not told that until they graduate? I feel like that's just common knowledge, you know? But I'm not one of them. But now the plot is driven, so fuck it, let's go. So the pollen jocks, I just love as a concept. They're the kind of the guys, you know, the guys that go out and get all the nectar and pollen. You know, the buff guys that all the girls want type shit. And who wants to be one of them? It's not this guy. So apparently the way you become a jock is you have to be like bred to be one of them. But that's not gonna stop Barry Jerry. It's all about the ladies.
Those ladies? Oh, aren't they our cousins too?
Distant.
So the other jocks, I guess, saw them, I don't know, impersonating them or something because they have pollen or some shit on them. And I guess they're also talking to their girls. They even asked Barry to join them tomorrow at the sunflower patch, but Barry doesn't know military time.
I might be. It all depends on what 0900 means.
A big day tomorrow. It's the next day. They are looking for jobs, right? And a lot of bees die here. That's kind of how they determine what jobs are open. But damn it, Barry isn't finding anything he wants. So he decides to run away. He gets a call on his antenna phone. This is such a cute concept. I love this. There was not enough of this in the film. We need more telephone antennas in my insect movies. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually smiled when I first saw this. It's such a good touch. You know, I was like, this makes sense. Barry Jerry eventually finds the jocks. They just kind of let him in. No questions asked, no background check. The guys from yesterday, of course, said they'll take care of him today. We'll watch over the guy on our mission. All he has to do is just sign his life away. And we're off, flying. A little off topic. I want to pause here for a second, talk about kites, if that's fine. I'm so happy no one flies kites anymore because they're such like a nuisance. And they always get stuck on shit. They're hitting power lines and the people are dying. I know this isn't all because I had a bad experience with kites as a kid. So the way they get the pollen, I'm very hit or miss with. Because as much as I love sticking to bee canon and them using their hairs or whatever, which for a kid's movie, well, I'll accept using these little gun suckers. I don't know. I guess I just kind of expected the jocks to just kind of like be jocks to Barry and like mess with him and tease him. But nah, they're just kind of showing him how it's done. They're very friendly. He gets stuck on a tennis ball next when they're out in the wild. Apparently his hair is like Velcro to it and he gets tossed. Actually, it's amazing how he does not get harmed this entire time. Oh, but if this happened to me, well, this video wouldn't be up.
You know, I don't think these are flowers.
Should we tell him?
I think he knows.
What is that?
So he ends up flying into the road and well, he's still not harmed. It's like Vern from Over the Hedge. So you know how films do that one thing, especially animated films where the main character just kind of goes out to the world for the first time and experiences all the hardships it has to offer one after another, and they get beat up by the end of it? No, you haven't. Well, this is one of them. And to top it all off, the icing on top, every bee's weakness.
Can't fly in rain. Can't fly in rain. Can't fly in rain.
Also off topic, the DS game, it had rain in that too, and that was the worst thing. That's actually what made me not finish the game, because the fucking rain, you can't do shit. You're flying, and the rain hits, which like every 20 seconds, and it goes, ooh, ooh. Barry B. Benson, Barry Jerry just turning red the whole time, and you can't fucking get back to the fucking front made porch. I don't even know how to turn the water on. I can turn the water sprinklers on. So we take shelter in a nearby home, which ends up introducing us to some more new characters in this film. Once I heard that wonderful voice in my ear.
I made it into a fold-out brochure. You see? Folds out.
Jerry probably wrote that one too. But Patrick is back. Kronk himself.
Vanessa's boyfriend is Ken, played by Patrick Warburton.
This thing could kill me.
Ken and Vanessa are an item.
We'll call him Ken here. That's what he goes by. He's not a very big Star Wars fan.
What's your number one? Star Wars?
Nah, I don't go for that. Kinda stuff.
Barry Jerry falls for the old light bulb trick, thinking it's the sun going out there, falling down into some guac. I think it's guac. So he almost gets eaten by the chip of a family friend. I don't know. Ken sees him and he's like, I gotta kill a bee. You know, that's the first thing I want to do is kill a bee when I see a bee. But right as he's about to go for the kill on Jerry Barry, a girl stops them. New love interest, maybe? Renee Zellweger. I never know how to say her last name, y'all. I'm so sorry. Let's call her Vanessa. So she captures Barry Jerry from death and he's just falling in love on the spot. He can't stop that Jerry Barry. He can't stop. So B rule number one. This was explained a little bit earlier in the film, but I just want to start kind of hammering it down because it starts to become a problem here. B rule number one, all right, everyone knows, there's no talking to humans. But
I gotta say something. She saved my life. I gotta say something.
Jerry cannot resist those women. So this next part, as he's kind of figuring out what to say to her, I just had to include because it's necessary. You like jazz? So during this totally normal conversation of her just being totally relaxed, thinks she's dreaming and accepts it. I mean, if that was me, come here, little shit. Oh my God, oh, get the bee, get the bee. Go get the bee. You want one of this? You want one of these? What is that? You don't want a stinger up you? Well, take this. Oh.
Mama, Dada, honey, you pick it up. Bees are funny. If we didn't laugh, we'd cry with what we have to deal with.
She offers him coffee. It's a totally normal exchange here. They get along so well. He doesn't want to be a burden with the coffee, though, or the cake.
I can't.
Oh, come on.
You know, I'm trying to lose a couple micrograms.
So they sit on the balcony with coffee. I can't. He's fallen in love more. Also, side note here, he's just like telling her like all the bee secrets and how they function, where they work, all about the queen. And I don't know what bee rule this is, but they're gonna just let him back in after this. Like, why would they let him back into the tribe after breaking bee rule number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4? Well, it's time to go. It's getting a little late. He grabs a piece of crumb for the road. So back at the factory, Jerry Barry is telling Adam, his friend, I never introduced his name, I'm so sorry, Adam. And like Adam is like totally chill at first.
How'd you get back?
Poodle.
What does that mean? And then he's like, I'm talking to one of them, like talking. And Adam's like, whoa there, whoa. What would your parents think? And then Barry Jerry stuffs a crumb in his mouth.
This is over.
Eat this.
This is not over.
I'm gonna speed it up here a little bit. He's chilling at home. He falls in the water. He goes on like an acid trip in the water or something. The humans got him somewhere else. And then this happens. So he's drowning. Is this considered water or honey? Can they swim in honey? Does honey stick to bees? Well, now I'm curious. Huh.
Sometimes bees can get stuck when there's too much honey.
Oh, would you look at that?
So we'll come along and we'll actually help them out of that honey. With the other bees, we'll help clean the honey off
them
of
too, shit.
Look at all of her helpers helping clean her up.
Well, then what the fuck is he swimming in? He tells his parents like he is talking to a girl, not a human girl, but they just hope that she is, I quote, bee-ish. So he eventually goes on his first date with Vanessa. Not much happens here. You know, he gets insulted and smacked once, but not much else. I guess there's one thing. He did run into the honey at the grocery store.
Ray Liotta Private Select. You've taken our homes, our schools, our hospitals. This is all we have. And it's on sale?
It's time to get to the bottom of this. Now the real movie started. So he eventually catches a ride on the Honey Farms truck to the factory. He just kind of smacked the windshield, so you know how it is. And oh my God, what do we have here? We got Chris Rock playing Moose Blood.
Moose Blood's one of these guys he just kind of bumps into from time to time. You know those people you just bump into?
There's a little bit of a joyride here. Eventually the windshield wipers turn on, ends up knocking him into like an exhaust on the top of the truck. I don't know what that's called. They just kind of chatted up there. They're talking about blood and how girls don't want mosquitoes because blood, and a blood van drives by.
Mosquito girl don't want no mosquito? Whoa! You got to be kidding me!
And there goes Chris Rock. Never to be seen again until the end of the movie. Must have been busy with Madagascar or something. I think I'm almost getting a little hot here. I'm sweating. All right, so Jerry Berry eventually finds this bee farm and he sees how everything kind of works, and he goes on asking the coughing bees what's going on, and they basically just explain that their queen moved here so they had no choice.
This is your queen? That's a man in woman's clothes. That's a drag queen.
So he takes pics of the operation. He goes to show his fam.
Do these look like rumors?
That's a conspiracy theory. These are obviously doctored photos.
And then fucking bum-ass Adam just kind of tells his family that his girlfriend's kind of like a human, but they don't even freak out. They're just totally sane. And like, am I just the one going crazy here? Because why is no one freaking out about bee rule number 1? What did bee rule number 1 do to everyone? Is it not enforced anymore? No, instead they're more focused about the humans taking the honey, which is reasonable, but he's also dating one. So what is happening? A breaking newscast happens here, informing us what is happening to the honey. They got B. Larry King in here too. B. Jesus. So now there's this scene that during this B. Larry King interview where Barry Jerry's saying that the humans also have a Larry in their world, and how he also has a show, and that he looks just like him.
B. Larry King. No, I mean, he looks like you, and he has a show with suspenders and different colored dots behind him. B. Larry King. Old guy glasses. And
now I want to pause here, because there's a conspiracy afoot that I've come up with that doesn't really make sense. So as he's trying to expose him, he's going like, oh, there's a lot of people with my name, Larry King. And he's just kind of ignoring Barry as he's signing off of his show. And Barry just keeps going on. And eventually, Larry B signs out and leaves. And that's the scene, right? But what if Mr. King here is actually living a double life? And he does both shows, and he knows about the bee world, and he single-handedly separates the bee world from the human world, and he keeps them both in check. He's pulling all the strings here. I don't know, I wouldn't look too deep into it. But for those that know...
Pointy shoulders, squinty eyes, very Jewish.
I don't know.
Next week on B. Larry King.
So back with our lovers. I guess Patrick Ken is just okay with Barry Jerry talking now, but he isn't happy about it. And he still hates him, and he gets kicked out on yogurt night.
Why is yogurt night so difficult?
Everything he says just makes me laugh, and then I can't stop laughing.
He's supposed to like be her ex, by the way, and he's being stood up by a bee. I mean, it's Seinfeld bee, but he gets kicked out so they can plan the plot against humans for the honey. They actually go to court. I'm dead ass. Like everyone here is just excited to hear a bee talk. Finally, like this is just normal now. We are in a courtroom. So we get a new character here, a lawyer played by Mr. John Goodman himself.
Any of you boys work on this?
This fits him very well. We usually don't see him playing like normal characters. Usually just animals or monsters. So it's like a nice change to see him. But he's the bad lawyer though. He hates bugs.
Well, if it isn't the B team.
Also, yes, I am officially crazy. B rule number 1 is just out the window here. It's just public now. Also, by the way, no one freaks out when they talk. Not one person in the world, apparently. Maybe they're shocked. Why is everyone just chill with the bees talking? Why is there not one crazy person here in the world? Like, where is the FBI? Where is the SWAT team? So this lawsuit, to sum it all up, it's just Barry Jerry is suing because he feels like their hard work is being stolen and that they are all kept hostages, and it's all very good points here. Actually, like, defense has nothing.
Yogi Bear, Fozzie Bear, Build-A-Bear? Yeah, you mean like this?
They even bring in Sting. That's how you know this is getting dated. I honestly haven't really heard a single Sting song in my life. Apparently he's really big, so let's listen to his biggest song. I don't know how I feel about this. Deadass, pretty sure they just got him because his name was Sting, and it fits the theme. Ray Liotta is also here. He's just here because he's on the bottle of the honeys.
And Ray Liotta also makes an appearance in the movie as one of these celebrities have these little food boutique things that they do.
I just think Jerry Seinfeld just got all of his like comedy friends or whatever friends at the time he had. You guys want to be in this little fucking old bug movie I got? It's this first day of court. It just kind of ends, I guess, in the bees' favor. There's another day of court. So I guess we just all just kind of coexist now. This is normal. So back at the house, Patrick Ken walks in from work. Why do they live together if they're like exes? Barry even sits in his seat.
That's where I usually sit. Right there.
This guy fucking hates him. I love it. So he ends up locking himself in the bathroom with Jerry Barry. And boy, some of the jokes that are spit here.
What's that?
Italian Vogue.
Mamma mia, that's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of ads.
This whole scene is just hilarious. Patrick Ken really gives it his all here. Eventually Vanessa comes in, stops him, kicks him out. Would they now be considered exes? I don't know.
Why are my clothes so tight?
I have to sit there and hold my hand over my mouth because I want to just laugh out loud. It really makes me laugh. It's completely silly.
All right, fast forward day 2 of the trial. Yeah, we're still going. John Goodman came in today with a devilish plan. He starts getting up Barry Jerry's stinger about his relationships, about Vanessa and how the bees date their cousins. This pisses Adam off, right? And he goes in for that sting, which is what that bad lawyer wanted.
Adam, don't! It's what he wants!
Man of the jiggle and all. He does the most dramatic feint in all of history. He was definitely a theater kid growing up. We're only 2 films in this series, and we got double cheeks back to back. Let's see if this is a theme. So it's almost over for Adam. He's got the honey IV again. Hold on, aren't bees supposed to die after they sting you? Right, like every time. What makes Adam so special? Hold on, let me check something. 99.96%. Huh? Would you look at that? So Adam is apparently one of the 0.4 lucky % of bees that survive after the sting. I don't know. His species should die. So they gave him a sword toothpick as a replacement stinger, which I just love this shot. Barry Jerry's at his wit's ends. He needs something to get this thing going. So he sees some people are smoking outside, and this gives Barry Jerry the perfect counter case for this court because, of course, how could you forget about the bee farms and the bee suffering, which you would think that would have been what he would have started with originally. But money over power, I guess. The bear honey is the case. So, like, I guess back in the courtroom, I don't know if this is day 3. I don't know if it's the same day. I don't fucking know what day it is today. Back in the courtroom, they just kind of allow Adam to be there with the Goodman lawyer. Like, you'd think they would, like, ban him from there, but I don't know. Why am I complaining about logic? What would Barry B think? They bring in the smoking evidence, and it ends up knocking out the bees. A gasp. The verdict is final.
What has happened to bees who have never been asked? Smoking or none?
I feel like there's a weird analogy here with like real life smoking. Are they trying to teach a lesson to kids to not smoke? Does Seinfeld smoke? Yeah? Hold on, let me dig a little bit deeper here. Wait, they are smoking out the bees to do slave labor for the honey, which is an oppression of certain groups with force. I don't want to look anymore.
Living out our lives as honey slaves to the white man?
You think Jerry wrote this one too? Man, this script doesn't end, guys. So the bees are freed. It's a happy ending. Let's just hope this doesn't disrupt the balance of nature in the future. There's a Winnie the Pooh reference, where they take him out to take his honey, and I specifically think that this scene is just in here because Jim Cummings is the narrator, and they just wanted to maybe poke fun at him. Everything that uses honey in the real world is just like banned. They're just like, no more honey, humans. Humans can't touch the honey anymore. So basically, the bees just have so much money, I guess money too, and honey, that they don't have to work anymore. They just kind of like shut their factories down. They go ape shit. I don't know. Hold on. This guy jumps in the honey and he gets... What the fuck was Barry swimming in? So eventually, after much time has passed, all the flowers are starting to die because, well, the bees don't need to make honey anymore, which puts Vanessa out of a job, and all the bees just don't know what to do. So to speed things up here, she shows him dead. It's all Barry Jerry's fault. So there's this final parade, I guess, to show off the final flowers left on Earth or something like that. They end up stealing one of the floats to get all that shit on a plane to pollinate the Earth. below. I'm just confused as you guys. They just have this plan that somehow is just hopefully supposed to work. The plane, they don't have much time. So Barry Jerry goes up to the pilots in front of the plane to tell them to speed things up.
But there was a dustbuster, a toupee, a life raft exploded. Now one's bald, one's in a boat, and they're both unconscious.
It's a Jerry joke. I'm gonna pause it. I'm off topic here for a second. So Jerry Seinfeld actually came to my city like a week or so ago. I didn't get to go, but my friend went and he took a picture. He sent me a picture of him at the show. This is the best photo he got of him. And he personally told me that those jokes are definitely Jerry's jokes. So if John Travolta can be a pilot, so can Vanessa. Let's finally wrap this movie up. Barry Jerry does a pep talk that's live to everybody, and he encourages the bees to be bees again. They fly up to stop the plane. Hear me out, guys. The pollen jocks are much stronger than anticipated. I'll give it to them there. There's at least probably like 300,000 of them at least holding this plane up. So the bee power is what saved them all.
Oh, this is insane, Barry!
This is the only way I know how to fly. Aim for the center! Now drop it in! Drop it in, woman!
All the bees go in, they pollinate the remaining flowers. You'd think this place would be swarming with cops by now, but shit. So our final song that plays here is a cover of Here Comes the Sun. It's a wonderful song. It's classic. It's a montage of pollination to kind of wrap things up here. Barry Jerry is a lawyer now. The Chris Rock is also one too. Hey, he's back. Welcome back. I can see that he was used sparingly, but very heavily advertised. You know how it is.
Oh, that bee is living my life!
Let it go, Kenny.
He was right in the end.
I think it's the funniest thing that Patrick has done in a career of doing a lot of very funny things.
Then we end it with the bees flying through the kites again just to annoy me, just to mess with me. Roll credits, and that's the Bee Movie by Seinfeld. He even wrote the film, I told you, you see? Also, Jerry had a physical fitness trainer? What? Why? What was he teaching him? Was he teaching him how to fly? What's the trainer there for? How much did he cost? I have questions, Mr. Jerry. So the soundtrack, there's an original song for this film. It's during the end credits they play it. I don't know why it wasn't in the film. It's amazing. It's called Thinking Bee, sung by Jerry Barry himself.
Thinking bee!
Me?
Thinking bee, thinking bee. Yes, Martin, start thinking bee.
Gee!
It's quick though, it's a good song.
Thinking bee, thinking bee.
Paramount Home Entertainment released a DVD on March 11, 2008. The extras include Inside the Hive, which is kind of what I've been flipping in and out this whole time. The cast of the Bee Movie, self-explanatory stuff that we get on every one of these. Tech of the Bee Movie, which is, it's interesting. There's not a lot to see there. It's just the tech. There's also a music video for We Got the Bee, which, ooh, there's alternate endings, lost scenes, live action trailer. There was later a Blu-ray release, but whoa, slow down there. That's ahead of our time. We don't talk about Blu-rays here. Not yet. I don't have the Blu-ray either, so I guess we'll never know what's on that one.
The Owl Meter. Whether you are a human or a bee, there are a lot of things in the world that make you go, ow. So if you are a human, click on human, and if you are a bee, click on bee to see what it might be like for you when you come under fire.
A bunch of people asked Seinfeld if he'd ever do a sequel to the Bee Movie, and he has commented on this. And he said, I quote, it's kind of a big one here. I'll try to do my best impression. I'm not very good with a Seinfeld impression, but here we go. Hey, I actually did consider it, but then I realized it would make Bee Movie 1 less iconic. But my kids want me to do it. A lot of people want me to do it. A lot of people that don't know what animation is want me to do it. If you have any idea what animation is, you'd never do it. Did y'all know that female bees are the only ones that have stingers? The males don't. Sorry for ruining that for you guys. Well, that's it. I'm done. Thank you for joining me. Join me next time where I cover the next DreamWorks animated DVD, maybe VHS, maybe sequel, straight to theaters film. Monsters vs. Aliens. Uh-oh, we hit one of them.